Over lunch, I was looking at Google Maps because I want to nominate this mural, and it recently got my attention. I'll tell you why later. But I wanted to see what else was in the area, and there were a couple other murals that I knew of as well. This one I know has to have been there for years, and it's not in the game. And then this one further south, I think it's been there at least a year. I'm not entirely positive. But the reason I'm doing this, I'm giving myself a challenge, and I'm going to nominate 30 points of interest in March. But before I do, I'm going to show you what's going on in Pokemon Go right now. Whenever you go in to nominate a new Pokestop, you are now getting pushed a guide, a how-to guide, which is great, except for I already know what I'm doing and I can't seem to turn it off. But I'm also getting this weird white screen glitch when I set location, and I kept it this time, but every other one I did that day, I restarted my app and I could see the imagery again. So here I am at that first one. You can see why I suddenly noticed this mural, because it used to be just that left part, and now the mural was much bigger. So I centered it and took a picture, and this is what's going to be in the game. So imagine it in a circle. Then the next picture you have to do is the overview shot. You want to show that it's safe for pedestrians. I showed that it was in the parking lot. Of course, there's going to be pedestrians in the parking lot. And then when I hit next, I got more explanation. It's going to tell you how to write the supporting information, which is great, but again, I couldn't turn it off. Then for the title, for easy ones, I like to keep them simple. So this one said Pirate Life Mural. There was nothing in the mural identifying artist. So I did put in the description that the artist was unknown. I'd like to call out the artist when possible. I picked the categories and then I went to submit. The next step is telling the reviewers, who are just people playing the game, just like us. They're Pokemon Go players or Ingress players. Make sure you tell them why you think it's eligible, and please don't use this to plead for a Pokestop. This is nomination 1 out of 30. This was the next place I went. It was just down the street. I showed you the picture in Google Maps. It was a condo complex, and it had a tennis court at it. The tennis court was really run down. I'm pretty sure nobody is playing tennis on it. But I hope someday they fix it up, and my Pokestop will be a great addition. But I put it right at the entry gate. I won't go too much into detail here, but this is my photo for the game, so in Ingress or Pokemon Go. This is my overview shot. That is just for the reviewers, and that's it. And then I chose my categories, hit submit, and then you have to put in the description that your reviewers will see. And you want to say why it's a good place to explore, exercise, or socialize. This next one here is the other one that I showed you. This was actually a AAA facility. It's a really cool mural. This is the photo that will be used in the game. This is to show it has pedestrian access. And then I decided to call it Let AAA Help Mural. And then I wrote a description, chose my categories, submitted it, and then wrote up my information to help the reviewers approve my submission. This next one I found just driving by. People have asked me, how do you find your nominations? Well, this is one way. You pay attention to your surroundings. I happened to see this ballet theater, and I kind of struggled with where to take the picture, but then I saw the metal art of the dancer, and I realized that was definitely the place. And this one, I really didn't know what to say because I didn't know what went on at the business, and so I put things in there that were pretty general, and I plan to go back into Niantic Wayfarer to change it. This one was that rooster mural that I showed you way at the beginning. And I've never nominated it because there are other things in the area, and I just wasn't quite sure. I used pogomap.info to kind of go back and forth, and I still wasn't sure. I didn't know if it was going to be in its own cell. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with cells, I did make a video about that, so you can go back and watch it. and I still wasn't quite sure. So I went in to actually nominate it. When you do that, it shows you other things in the game and where they are. And I was comparing that to the Pogo map info as well, but I still wasn't quite sure. Ultimately, I decided to just go for it. If it doesn't end up in Pokemon Go, it'll be in one of the other games anyway. I took both of my photos, I chose the keywords, I told the reviewers why I thought it should be in game, and I submitted it. These are my first 5 nominations out of 30.